Hello, everybody. It's Severalto4 for the weekly update. A few things. Um, First and foremost, I'm not going to be showing off art from this week or going through the tweets like I usually do. I'm going to keep this short. I'm actually recording this Saturday night because Sunday I will not be around. My grandmother has been very unwell for a very long time, unfortunately. She had severe lung problems, which was the result of a strange foreign virus that she picked up from a surgeon who did surgery on her that had the virus from another country and transmitted to her somehow during the surgery, and he died of it a year and a half later, and this was 20 years ago, and my grandmother got it, and it slowly destroyed the inside of her lungs, and made her super susceptible to anything and everything. She would get pneumonia 2 or 3 or 4 times a year, every year. She was just constantly getting one infection after another. She was like, they had to keep finding new antibiotics to give her just to try to stave off the constant infection she had in her lungs all this time. But through that, she was a fantastic grandmother. I have so many good memories of her. But this a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago, she got a really bad infection. This is again like the third or fourth one of the year. And she had to go to the hospital, and she didn't do well in the hospital at all. Just a terrible time, and eventually we took her home after 2.5 weeks in the hospital. And she was home for about a week. We actually visited her on Wednesday. We were down by her to get the booster shot, the COVID booster shot, which I thankfully did not have really any bad side effects. I felt yucky a little bit the next day, or actually mostly the day of, but the next day I was just a little flushed. But we visited her, my brother, myself, my father, and my mother, and she looked awful. She couldn't sit up on her own. My aunt has been taking care of her for years now herself, and she was having trouble breathing. She could barely string 2 words together. She was lucid. She was able to have conversation with us, or more like listening and reacting to us talking. But it was very clear that she was just not doing well, and so it was Wednesday. Then Friday, my mom got a frantic call that she had to come now, from my aunt, and my grandmother passed away around 3 p.m. on Saturday afternoon, which was about an hour before Sabbath started, which made things very interesting for funeral arrangements. In Judaism, the funeral has to try to take place as quickly as possible because we don't embalm or do autopsies usually, or anything like that. There's a dignity to the person that we like to keep, and we don't have like a fancy casket or anything. It's a pine box, something that's easy to degrade and be reclaimed by nature, so that the body can also return to the earth, and not be preserved and kept longer than it needs to. It's very natural. So when that happens before the Sabbath, everything has to be put on hold more or less for the Sabbath, but there's some arrangements that supersede Sabbath restrictions, and but most of the stuff is being done tonight right now. But the funeral is going to be tomorrow, and Jews have when you lose a close family member, father, mother, sister, brother, or son or daughter or spouse, You have a 7-day period of mourning called Shiva. Shiva literally means 7, where you just don't do anything. You stay at home. Other people cook for you, and it's a time for people to come and console you throughout the period. So you're usually in your house or the house of the deceased, and the family is together, and people come by, people visit you. So that's looks like we're going to be holding that in our house here this week. And it starts from the moment of the ending of the burial for 7 days. So it looks like we're going to be having it here this week, so it's going to be very busy. And my aunt, I think, is going to be staying here with us so that she doesn't have to commute back and forth every day, because it starts in the morning, and like prayer stuff is done here instead of at the synagogue. The mourners sit on low chairs as a sign of mourning. They rip their shirt. They don't look into mirrors because it's not to focus on themselves the week. It's to focus on the person who has passed. So all the mirrors in the house are covered. And there's a lot of other intricate details, but it's a very personal week, and so I don't think I'm going to be uploading any videos. I might have time to do some video editing, maybe for the Much Game stuff, but probably not going to stream, probably not going to upload videos. It's just, it's time for the family to support my mom. It was her mother. My grandmother was 83. She actually shares a birthday with me, December 4th. She always called me her birthday present. But she was born in 1938. And she lived through quite a lot. She was born in America here. So she didn't go through the horrors of the Holocaust personally, but a lot of her family, unfortunately, did. But my father's parents both passed away when I was 3. So this was in 1992, 93. So my grandmother was really the only grandparent I had in my life. She had gotten divorced from her husband a very, very long, way before I was born, or before my dad got married to my mom. The guy was a terrible person, and he was most certainly not in our life. So she was an only grandparent, but she was an amazing person. I guess several things to say. There's whatever I say is not enough to really describe the life of a person. But she would always spoil us rotten. When we had visited her house, she had 2 rescue greyhounds, April and May, the nicest dogs. She had a policy for every meal of always dessert first. Always dessert first. We would get like an ice pop or something before we ate. She would usually make us like noodles or something for dinner, and with ketchup she'd make like a little smiley face on it. We watched a lot of the grandkids. When I say we, I mean the grandkids. We watched a lot of like PBS shows, so she would always record it. Like she had dozens and hundreds of tapes with Wishbone and the Magic School Bus and like all the other things, and so she would have it ready for us when we would visit, so that like we wouldn't have to go TV surfing, and we'd have something good to watch. So we'd watch all those shows, and then she'd give us the tape so we could watch it at home. And she, one second, I keep all my birthday cards. See if I can find a few from her. I think this is an amalgam. Well, anyway, do. So she usually has like a nice birthday card for every single grandkid. Every single grandkid. No, this is for one specific birthday. But like each letter, each card would be packed. And when I say packed, I mean packed with stickers and balloons, and she would draw like with marker. This is a I don't know, kind of a small card, but a little sticker thing, and she would just draw like a marker, make like pictures and stuff and scenes, and she did that for every single one of her grandkids and great grandkids. So when we stayed at her house, when she still had the first house that I knew of her, she usually slept a little late. So because kids get up early, she would leave like little cereal, those little travel cereal boxes, like a little box, a single serving of cereal. So she'd leave that on the counter with a bowl and a spoon, and in the fridge she would have a cup with just the right amount of milk, so that we could just open up the fridge, take the cup, pour it in the cereal, and have our breakfast. Like little things that just making our stay personalized and looking after all the little details. Bring us to parks, and every year she would buy every single grandkid a Hess truck. They would always have like a new Hess truck every year that you could get from the Hess gas stations, every single year, and we still have all of them. I don't know. Last year, this year we didn't get anything because unfortunately she was just not well enough to get it. But just so many good memories. And she lived with my family for a while because she had a heart attack in the late 90s and just couldn't live on her own for a bit. And then eventually she moved to New Jersey and got moved into like a retirement home. Not a home. It was a house in a retirement community. There we go. That's the word. And just another story I shared on Twitter today, but another story, when she was 50, which is, most people say 50, you've already gone through whatever, she decided, I want to do more with my life. So she went back to college, and it was a big thing because the rest of her class was like 20s, kids in their 20s, and she went to medical school, and she got a degree and became a physician's assistant at 50, and because that's what she wanted to do. She loved the medical side of things. So she realized her dream at 50, which is really cool. So if you're like me and you're like, oh God, I am 31 years old and I'm doing nothing with my life, don't worry. There's still time. There's always time. And just amongst many, many other things, she was an incredible person, incredibly strong person, and a very loved part of our family. And, I'm sorry that she was sick for so long, that, this is what happened. She passed peacefully, though. My mom and my aunt were there. And she, it was her time. And, I'm very thankful to have had her for as long as I did, and learn as many things. I have a love of classical music from her because of she used to always play that in the car. She had a classical music station, and just fantasy and storytelling. She would always tell us these amazing, fanciful stories, usually to the music of the classical music that was playing, and it would go with the flow of the music, which was amazing. The pace of the story and the action and everything. But I'm going to miss her terribly. And again, apologies that this is I just took a week off the previous week. This past week I just uploaded VODs and some Much Games videos, but I didn't know what I wanted to do, if I wanted to start something short or whatever. With MagFest coming up this week, I decided not to go to MagFest, so that kind of took that out of the equation, but focuses are obviously very different at the moment. But yeah. So apologies, and thank you to everyone who has been praying or for or keeping her in your thoughts. I appreciate it immensely. I really do. There was an incredible outpouring of support on Twitter. I was actually shocked to tears when I came back after Sabbath to just see how many messages of support and condolences from the community. I didn't know I knew that many people. But I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you. And yeah, always remember to tell the people around you that you love them. And it's always a good time to do that now. And I want to let you know that I do love and appreciate every single one of you. And I say that every time because I mean it. I really do. I hope if you're celebrating Christmas this week, I hope you had a good holiday. And this coming week is New Year's. Once again, Friday nights, I'm not going to be able to join with the festivities with everyone else, unfortunately. But you made it to the end of the year, and that is amazing. That is amazing. Keep on fighting the good fight, and thank you once again for everyone's kindness, support, and being kind to each other. And once again, just remember, now is the best time to thank the people around you. So thank you, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.